Is it the bananas? Hello friends, my name is Brandon Dayton. I'm your humble narrator. Welcome back to Buzzfeed Bunk. This is actually part 2 of a 2-part episode. We did numbers 1 through 25 in the first episode, so check out that link in the description if you are not privy to it. And we're gonna jump right back into it. I've been really disappointed with the middle part of this list. The first, 5 to 10 items had me gagging in my mouth, and it was really fucking disgusting. But then they kind of lost the groove a little bit, so hopefully it's going to pick back up near the end of the list. We shall find out. We'll jump right back into it with number 26, Airbrushed Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi looks like a very handsome man when he's airbrushed, let me tell you that. He could be a movie star. He's already a movie star, even with his weird looks. But he's a movie star because of his weird looks. When he's airbrushed, I don't think he's good looking enough to top Leonardo DiCaprio or, whatever, fucking Tom Cruise. Who's hot right now? I don't even know. Steve Buscemi looks kind of like he has some sun damage on the right side of his face. They maybe forgot to airbrush that or didn't know how to airbrush it properly. So you can still see the real Steve peeking through. Maybe he's just been driving in a car in Europe. Because the sun's beating on the left side of your face if you're from the US. But that's a pretty shitty joke anyways. Pretty shitty entry for the 50 worst things on the internet. I think we're gonna have to power through a lot more of these before we reach anything resembling something interesting and or legitimately disgusting again. Airbrush Steve Buscemi, not that bad. If they doubled the amount of wrinkles on Steve Buscemi's face, that might be something worth gagging over. That would be literally disgusting. I guess Airbrush Steve Buscemi could be scary if, you saw this on a dating profile or something, and you're like, oh, he's gonna look like that, and then he shows up to the date looking like actual Steve Buscemi, then you'd be like, oh, fuck, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then you climb out the window or something like that. Anyways, we're gonna try and power through this list a little bit faster than the last one. 27, this sexy emoji chain text about the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation. What the fuck is this? I don't understand. Happy Reformation Day to all my Protestants. It's been 500 years since that nasty German monk Martin Big Dick Luther showed the papal daddy who the real Heavenly Father was and nailed the 95 theses hard and without pause all night long on the door of this All Saints Church in the Holy Ho-Man Empire. Big Daddy Martin was so angry at those naughty priests for selling indulgences to all the sexy sinners in Rome, telling them that for a price they'd be sent straight to heaven. You can't buy redemption. For Martin, it was number 86 that was the baddest thought, asking why the mean and greedy daddy of the Catholic Church would take money from those poor sluts rather than use his own big fat stacks to pay for all his sugar babies. The Catholic Church told Martin that he was full of sin, and not the good kind. Since then, Protestants and Catholicers have always had a certain sort of tension. Maybe today, some of that will get resolved. Hashtag Refill 500. I don't really understand what this is all about. It's meant to be ironic. This is not really a thing that somebody wrote and was like, this is completely serious. Especially with the addition of all the emojis and whatnot. So, really fucking retarded. 50 worst things on the internet? It's pretty bad, but it's definitely not one of the worst things that I've ever seen. No, indeed. They're really reaching hard to get to 50. I don't know why they decided to do 50. They could have just done 20. I would have had one good video instead of 2 kind of shitty ones with a bunch of crap to sort through. But we're trying to get the full BuzzFeed experience here. And just how full of bunk it is. Heh, that's branding. Anyways. Next one, enough of this. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. I'm not going to do the research for it. 28. This man looking for love. You know what? Everybody needs love in their life. Even this weird fucking neckbeard looking dude. He says, ladies, do you want babies with stronger DNA and a mate less likely to make you depressed, angry, stressed out, get cancer, or die too soon? Then why not choose to date guys over the age of 35 and only have kids with guys between the ages of 35 and 55? Don't you think it's time to stop being age-phobic? Whoa. Conversation our age. Don't blame me, it's telomerase. Drops in the body, titles in the balls. Click first picture on COA to join me. I guess COA is conversation our age. And then XX versus XY. Women mature over a decade sooner than guys. Hit me up in Spokane, Washington if you're a woman under 26, since I'm buying you dinner tonight. No, you're not. This seems like a guy who's just really insecure about growing old, which is sad, you know? He's 35 years old, 35, kissless virgin. I'm gonna throw that. I'll put money on that. I just kind of feel bad for him, if nothing else. I don't understand why, one, he'd do this to himself, especially with all the weird text and shit like that. Ladies, do you want babies with stronger DNA? It's like, dude, you haven't even bought this chick dinner yet and you're already talking about babies. What a fucking creepo. In addition to him making him feel bad about himself, BuzzFeed has now put his personal information on the internet. So I wonder how many people have gone to Conversation Our Age and clicked on the first picture, which probably he's the only guy on that website or something. He's probably the webmaster of the website. He's like, join my website, I'll give you good DNA or something like that. It's like, dude, you've been giving your socks good DNA for 20 years. I think it's time to stop. It's time to stop.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay?
Probably not one of the worst things on the internet. It definitely makes me sad, which any of these things that can evoke some emotion from me, I give a point. Kind of half a point to this one. I feel really bad for this fellow. He's got a shirt that says, let's get ready to stumble. So he's got that good alcoholic DNA, if anybody wants some of that. Go ahead and hit him up. 29. This piece of Blue's Clues fan art. Oh my god. I don't think I ever wanted to see anything like this. Steve has the same look that I have as I'm looking at this picture. Help. Oh god, somebody help me. If I recall correctly, I think Blue is a girl dog, so that's good. There was something in the first bit of this article that had like a lady rolling around with a German Shepherd, and now we've got Steve rolling around with whatever the hell Blue is, some kind of bloodhound or beagle. Yeah, it's pretty disturbing the first time you look at it, for sure. And then he's got like paw prints all over him. I bet if he stood up, there'd be like a paw print on his wiener or something, and all the kids would be like, a clue, a clue. We miss you, Steve. The show just wasn't the same after the other guy we can't remember took over, because that's when we all stopped watching. Or, you know, when we turned 5. That's when we all stopped watching. Probably this didn't need to exist at all. Thank you, Internet. Thank you so much. So, for ruining a small part of my childhood, I guess that this could be considered one of the worst things on the internet. It's probably 1 of 5, and I'm being very generous with the points this time around. I'm just like, yeah, I guess it's bad. Whatever. Really, you could try and talk me down and disprove it, and I probably agree with you. It's still pretty disturbing, all things said. So, we'll move on to the next one before I end up gagging in my mouth again. Which did happen in the first video. Good job, BuzzFeed. You did a thing. You did a thing, didn't you? Number 30, what this guy did to an animatronic Elvis. Which is creepier, this animatronic Elvis I ripped the face off of while disassembling it, or this selfie with me wearing its face? I definitely say that the selfie of the guy wearing the face is fucking creepier. It looks like Michael Myers. I mean, he'd look kind of like a normal guy if not for, like, the hollow, dead eyes, you know what I mean? Masks are just kind of creepy for that reason alone. The eyes don't look completely right, so you kind of reach the uncanny valley. I think this is meant mostly to shock and awe, so I have a few questions about where he got an animatronic Elvis, or what the fuck? What's the story behind that? It's not the worst thing on the internet, that's for sure. I'd say it's more interesting than anything else. It's a unique case study, but I don't have time to go into it right now. I don't care to study this case at the moment. So we'll move on to the next one. 31. This very unorthodox way to go to the bathroom. That's pretty funny though. It's basically a dude with both his feet in the toilet and he's pissing on his feet. Which is a great way to get rid of athlete's foot. If your feet get dirty when you go outside, like I wear sandals all the time. I hang out with my dog, she's kicking dirt all over my feet. It would be so easy to just dunk my feet in the toilet, and then if you have athlete's foot, you pee on top of it. That's 2 problems, 2 birds, 1 stone. So I'm not gonna judge this guy for the way that he's decided to pee. Maybe the bath mat is lava. The bath mat is hot lava. Don't stand on the bath mat. I don't quite understand what I'm looking at here, nor do I think that I'm meant to. Maybe it's a weird fetish thing, but I don't really want to go into that right now. That's a place that I don't want to imagine my mind wandering to, so we'll just leave it. It is what it is. Worst thing on the internet, it's weird, that's for sure. I think that's what they're going for. Definitely some weird shit in this list. Not something that I would probably ever try, because you gotta aim really far down. You gotta basically tuck your wiener between your legs. This guy, look, he's almost hitting the back of the toilet. That is the danger zone. My wife is gonna be so upset if I pee all over the back of the toilet. She's gonna be like, what are you doing? And I'll be like, standing in the toilet peeing. I missed. I'm sorry. If you get some dribblies on the front, that's fine, you know? You can get a tissue, you can wipe it down. But behind the seat and all that stuff, that piss is just gonna ferment. Your whole bathroom is gonna smell like it. It's just not a good idea is what I'm saying, but I don't think that really needed to be said. So, we'll move on to the next one. God bless you, piss feet man. 32, botched eye tattoo. Tattooing your eye is one of those new trends that is kind of silly, you know? I see a lot of people do it. They're like, I want to turn the whites of my eyes red so I can look like a devil. It's like, whoa, that's super edgy, bro. But this chick, obviously she was dumb enough to try it. It got infected, or maybe just didn't work out the way she had planned, and look at that. She's leaking blue juice from her eye, and she can't even really open it all the way. So she's basically fucked up her eye. She's gonna look super edgy with an eye patch. You got all these tattoos, you got an eye patch, we really think you're a pirate now. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I guess it's the tagline for this one. Because why would you get an eye tattoo in the first place? If you have one, I'm asking you specifically. I'm not gonna back down on that. I think it's one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen. The first time I saw it, it was kind of shocking, and now I'm just like, wow, you must be really desperate to be edgy if that's the length you're going to. Having a regular tattoo used to be kind of counterculture and cool, but these days, everybody and their fucking mom has a tattoo, you know what I mean? It's no longer counterculture. It's the culture. So now we have to step it up a notch, get tattoos on our eyes, but I never really cared about being that counterculture, except for when I was like a punk kid, you know what I mean? But thank God I didn't make this decision when I was 16, because by the time I was 30, I'd be kicking myself right in the ass. This girl looks pretty young, you know? And if her eye makes it, then it's probably not ever gonna look the same. And she'll end up kicking herself in the ass for a different reason. I think even people with the regular eye tattoos are not going to be happy with it in 20 years. It's not gonna age and sag like a regular tattoo, but it is gonna mean that you don't get to work a normal job ever in your life. So get ready to rob a bank or become a tattoo artist yourself, because those are basically your only 2 options now that you have tattoos in your eyes. What the fuck? You know, she's probably got a story. She's a little bit damaged. Well, now the damage is visible on the outside. And that was basically the conversation that I had to myself when I saw this on Twitter maybe 4 or 5 months ago. As I said in the last video, you spend 15 minutes scrolling down my Twitter timeline and you'll probably find some worse shit than this. So, sorry to this girl, but also sorry to this BuzzFeed list because it's fucking terrible. Number 33, this guy from r/incels who doesn't smile at girls. Oh my god. Incels! What a fucking gold mine that is on Reddit. It's been shut down now because it was far too hateful and vitriolic, but it basically stands for involuntary celibates, which is a huge collection of men who just can't get fucked by women no matter how hard they try, and they do try very hard, though probably not in the correct way. So let's hear from some of these angry virgins now. Reminder not to smile at girls.
Every time you walk past a girl, don't smile. Just scowl if you make eye contact. Smiling at them makes you think you like them, which improves their self-worth. Do not do this. Don't smile at girls.
Okay, so He's got a very emphatic message that we should not be, even in passing, just don't even look at him. If you make eye contact, you gotta frown and look like an asshole. He has a reply, surprisingly, and somebody says, I never smile if I could help it. Showing one's teeth is a submission signal in primates. When someone smiles at me, all I see is a chimpanzee begging for its life. A chimpanzee begging for its life. I wonder how many chimpanzees this guy's killed. He probably has a basement full of chimpanzees because he wasn't fast or smart enough to catch any women to put in his basement. Oh god, I should do an incels video. A lot of those threads are archived, and there are a lot of those videos on YouTube. They perform extremely well. I don't really want to make myself into a stolen Reddit / green text / meme channel, but when I scroll through some of the incel posts, it makes me extremely tempted to at least do one or two videos and dip into the strange subculture of these angry little men. Is it one of the worst things on the internet? No, not really. I'd say the incel subreddit as a whole is probably one of the worst things. That's why I got shut down. This post alone is definitely one of the tamer things that I've seen on that subreddit. So, they're probably trying to make this list very family friendly. You know what I mean? If a little kid clicks on this list, they're not gonna see gore porn and all this kind of shit. If you want to see some horrible ones, I'm sure I could dig some up for you. So just let me know how you feel about that, and we'll move on to the next one. 34. This pro-life Zootopia furry fanfic. Any furry fanfic is good fodder for this list. I'm gonna tell you that. And then Zootopia was a great movie, so it's great that they're bastardizing it like this. I Will Survive, a Zootopia fan comic by Borba. So thank you, Borba, for bringing us this masterpiece. For God's sake, Judy, give this unborn child the opportunity to do the same. I beg you, please let your light continue to shine through him or her. And she's like, oh? No, as I said before, it's useless. Sorry, Nick, but I've made up my mind. My body, my rules. Oh, Judy, you're so heartless. I liked you so much in the movie. The only really disturbing thing to me about this is Nick and Judy having a relationship, which doesn't make much sense. Because eventually, after they mate, he's going to eat her, right? So this wouldn't even be a conversation they were having. Or is that praying mantises? I can't remember. Good on this comic writer for taking a leap. It's not necessarily the greatest way to convey your side of the story, I guess. But I could see both sides. And I wish that I hadn't. 35. Alt Furries. Alright. Foxler Nightfire tweets, always be yourself and never let anyone change you. Forever and always furry. Thank you to everyone and the Alt Furry for the support. Alt Furry? What the fuck? This is a hashtag I haven't done any research on or even really seen before. Mostly because I don't follow many furries on Twitter. I do have a couple that follow me and I follow them back, but I don't subscribe to that subculture necessarily. So how the Buzzfeed writer discovered that this was a thing is pretty interesting to me. I don't understand. You definitely put on your jack boots and your wolf suit and go marching down the street. I don't understand. I think it's just another way of linking the alt-right with Nazis, which there are Nazis on the alt-right, but some of them are honestly all-right dudes. Not alt-right dudes, but all-right. They're cool, you know? They've got a point of view that's a little bit different, and you know what? That's okay. Never let anyone change you. Forever and always. So yeah, I think that's what they're getting at with this. You know, if you've got a viewpoint, then I applaud you. If you can defend your viewpoint, then good on you. You know what I mean? Just because you don't subscribe to somebody else's way of seeing things, that goes for everybody on the list, including the guy that peed on his own feet, you know? You got a different viewpoint. That's fine, dude. If you can defend why you do it, then keep on. Keep on keeping on. I'm sure some people will still question you, but that shouldn't have so much effect on what you do. And if you do let it have an effect, then maybe your point of view wasn't as thought out as it should have been. If you want to put on a wolf suit and march down the street with jack boots and a Nazi armband, then I guess go ahead, but probably some people are going to stop you and ask why. 36. This very bad item sold on Amazon. Holy shit. I don't even know what to say about this. This disturbs me more than anything in part 2 so far. It's not just that it's a mouth strapped to a pair of boobs. It's the fact that, like, it looks like a baby's mouth, doesn't it? It's so fucking horrifying. Oh, I don't even have the words. I can't articulate the feeling that I have right now. What kind of person buys this? Never mind. I don't want to know. I don't want to meet him. If you bought this, please don't tell me because I'll never look at you the same again. I don't even know what did this person search for in order to find it. That is like so fucking weird. Oh, I can't say much more about it. Definitely going on the worst list. Next, please, never again. 37. Kirby without shoes. He's got human feet. They aren't little stubs like his arms. If he had the weird arms and hands, then I might be a little bit disturbed by it. Hyper realistic arms and hands, like he's in a creepypasta or something. I think Kirby's feet are probably just big mush balls like his arms, aren't they? The fact that you changed it to hyper realistic people feet, it's a little disturbing. It's definitely not one of the worst things on the internet, though. I kind of shrug at this. I go, okay, that's kind of funny. Haha. Next. The Hamburger Helper Gloves Skeleton. Oh, wow. That is detailed. Someone who is good at science, please help. Which is the correct anatomy of Hamburger Helper? And then, yeah, it is kind of more like option A. There's not just a tiny little skeleton inside the glove. It's a glove filled with a skeleton. It's really quite disturbing. I don't think that he would have actual leg bones, though. But he does have, like, little weird bat wings things that fill up the glove fingers. But yeah, the leg bones would probably be just smaller. You don't need to bend them up like that. Although it does make the thing more creepy. He definitely looks uncomfortable in there. And he just lives his whole life uncomfortably. And he still decided to reach out and help us humans? We don't deserve Hamburger Helper, you guys. Oh, well, that's enough internet for today. I'm with you on that shit. That is quite disturbing. I don't know who made that, but I applaud them for taking the time to animate something that gross and weird. It definitely belongs on this list, though. It's probably one of the worst things I've seen on the internet, at least today. For all of 2017, no, definitely not. But for today, yes, you get to stay at near the top of the list. Top 10 of the list. There we go. 39. Guy Fieri dabbing with his sons. Oh, Jesus Christ. Guy Fieri's just tried so hard to stay relevant and cool that it's just kind of sad at this point, isn't it? He's like, hey, I'm a cool hip rocker guy. And it's like, dude, you're almost 50. Pack it in, bro. You don't have to be cool for that long. And then, you know, his kids, they're dressed up like they're so hip too. And we're all gonna dab, even though it's a fucking... It's like 2 years old at this point, isn't it? Which is basically in dance move years, that's like 1,000 years old. So you're in prehistory right now. I don't understand the appeal. I don't understand why you would expose yourself doing this. I guess he thought it was really cool. He's like, look, my kids like me. We all dab together. But it's fucking some of the most ridiculous shit that I've ever seen. Is it the worst thing to happen on the internet? Probably. I wish I hadn't seen this. I don't like Guy Fieri already. I mean, even when he had his like first show or whatever, just his bleach blonde hair and his fat stupid face, I'm like, ugh. Why? Where did you come from? Wherever you came from, go back. Take your kids with you, fuckers. Number 40. All right, we're in the final 10 here, people. It better start picking up right about now. We've got the felt woman. After realizing the perfect woman doesn't exist, I decided to make my own out of felt. Don't be jealous. This one can never run away. And she looks about as happy as any other real woman would be with him. She's got her head down. She looks like a fucking prisoner of war or something. And is it even felt? it looks like some dryer lint shavings or something you found between the couch and just decided to craft into a gimpy woman. She doesn't have fingers, like her hands are just little stubs. It's extremely disturbing to me. And then he's got like pictures of him blowing her kisses, you know what I mean? At this point, I'd say you should just buy an anime body pillow or whatever and have a relationship with that, because it's probably a bit more hygienic than a woman made of dryer lint. So, Benjamin Joseph Mortimer Kaufman, please stop. Just please stop.
It's time to stop!
And I don't just mean with felt woman, I mean stop at life. And he posted it to, I guess, a Facebook group called Ancapistan. So good, he's an anarcho-capitalist, much like myself. This is not how I would choose to represent my political views. I don't know why he posted it there. I guess he's just black-pilled, bro. He's like, oh, I'll never find anyone. Well, not if you keep doing weird shit like this. You take a woman home from a date, she's like, oh, can I come up and see your apartment? And she's like getting all hot and ready. And then you open the door to your bedroom and she sees a fucking laundry lint woman, prisoner of war, sitting in the corner. She's gonna be like, what the fuck is that? I have to go. I have to leave. I left my stove on. And that would be it. You'd never see her again. You're not making the situation any better, is what I'm trying to tell you, Benjamin. You need to take a step back and look at your life from an outsider's perspective and be like, wow, some of the shit I do is really weird and unfixable. I say that about myself all the time, but this is just a step beyond. A step beyond anything that I've ever seen. And then what is she sitting on? It's like a charcoal bag, chip bag, maybe did diapers used to be in there? At least this felt woman is not wearing a diaper. That would be the final straw for me. It's definitely one of the worst things that I've seen. I don't understand. Again, I feel kind of bad for this guy, if anything, but he's doing this to himself at this point. Look at that. Instead of spending all your time building a woman out of dryer lint, why don't you go for a run or something like that? And then your problem might just fix itself. Benjamin Joseph Mortimer Kaufman. Don't look him up on Facebook, please. If you do, then that's fucking BuzzFeed's fault. They should have blurred out the name. It definitely seems like the name of someone who would make a felt woman, doesn't it? Oh god. I hate it. I hate it. It makes me feel things that I didn't want to feel. So, yeah. It's one of the worst things on the internet. Alright, I'll give it a point. Sure. Next. 41! This incredibly informative comic about cuckolding. And then this guy's like, being a cuckold is... And then the dude's like, shut up, Joe, and get the heck out. I'm gonna hug your wife now. Which, I guess sums it up. I basically hate everything about this normalization of this kind of kink. I mean, I guess if that's what you're into, I'm not gonna say, hey, stop that right now. But it's definitely something that makes me retch a little bit. BuzzFeed and I are on the same page for once, and I don't get it. I don't enjoy it. Anybody who does probably has some deep-seated self-hatred that they need to take a look at. Probably with a therapist. Probably not by giving your wife away to somebody to do whatever they want with her. Like, it's really weird. It's really weird, and probably one of the worst things on the internet in 2017. I will give it that. Number one. You know, the My Little Pony in a jar full of gum, that's weird and gross and disturbing. It made me gag in my mouth. But at least he's not really hurting anyone, besides probably his roommates, if he has them. But this is a destructive pattern for a relationship to be formed in. You know what I mean? I'm not a therapist. I can't say that's a professional opinion or anything like that, but I would never let myself get into this situation. And the fact that it's starting to become normalized, or at least attempting to become normalized, mainstream media, you know how I feel about anything they say, it's really disturbing. So yeah, I would put this as one of the worst things. There we go. It is number 41, is actually number 1. Probably the worst thing I've seen on the internet in 2017. And the comic tries to make it like sound so so idyllic and normal, and it's fucking not. If you're in a situation like this, especially one not voluntarily, then you need to take a real look at yourself and your relationship. You can write that down. That's a little piece of advice from the old Dayton does. Although it's not professional advice, you can't take me to court for it. Haha. Anyways, good job, BuzzFeed. We do agree on this one. Really fucking weird. And we'll move on to number 42 before I end up gagging in my mouth. 42, the guy who wanted a picture of Thomas the Tank Engine made of flesh. Kill me. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Somebody please kill me. I mean, he's not made entirely of flesh. You see, he's still got wheels down there because you couldn't really make the wheels out of flesh or anything like that. But this reminds me of one of those bosses from Cuphead, the Ghost Train. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny in a way, but it's also exceedingly disturbing. You can like see the spine up behind the smokestack, and yeah, that's not what's supposed to happen with people. I mean, obviously that guy he's probably dead, let's be honest. And once you're dead, who really cares if your body gets turned into a train? It's made the conductor really happy. I think that's what they call him, Topham Hatt. Yeah, I remember Thomas the Tank Engine. I know some shit. Some shit that's completely unrelevant to the real world. But yeah, this is just like a purposeful attempt to make a disturbing comic, which makes it a little less disturbing in my opinion. The most disturbing stuff is stuff that like you wouldn't expect. You know, somebody just going about their normal day and you see it and you're like, what the fuck? If they don't see it as disturbing, then it's more disturbing to me when it is disturbing. Does that make sense? Like, this is an obvious attempt to like, let's sit down and draw something that's gonna shock somebody. And initially I was a little bit shocked, you know? He's got that little Jabba the Hutt belly, he's got like the scar on his neck and stuff, and the weird spinal cord thing, and the ribs sticking out the bottom. But then you take a closer look and you're like, yeah, it's just an attempt at being edgy, isn't it? Which makes it a lot less edgy. If you're trying to be edgy, let it go. Let it go, because it's not gonna work unless you're just that way naturally. So, not one of the worst things I've seen on the internet. It is disturbing, but there's much more disturbing fan art. I'm usually more disturbed by like weird sexual stuff than simple violence. Violence is simple. That's something that everyone can understand, you know what I mean? But when you get to like a fetish that's really fucking out there and off the wall, it kind of makes me tilt my head and go, okay, well, I can't really judge it because, you know, somebody might honestly be into that. But I don't get it. I do not get it one little bit. This I understand. I'm pretty sure I see what this person's going for. And if they're not a serial killer already, they should probably be put on a watch list or something like that. 43, this cool pic. Mom, do you want to see a cool pic? I don't know, your cool pics kind of scare me. Jesus. It's a lady minion. A thick lady minion, and she loves bananas. I don't really know what else to say about this. Minions have become a meme in themselves, you know what I mean? But this is just taking it to a whole new level. I don't think the person that drew this was actually like, oh, let's make the sexy lady minion, oh, that looks so good. I think he's just like, let's draw something that's going to disturb other people, which, I think, again, this is how I rationalize it to myself, at least. I don't think this was made purposefully. Like, it can't possibly be, right? Again, maybe I'm just rationalizing that to myself. I'm not really sure. But what other explanation is there? Is there someone out there that enjoys minions? Like, is it the yellow skin? Is it the one eye? You could watch The Simpsons. You could poke out somebody's eye. Something like that. Is it the bananas? Because I get that reference. That's like, you know, bananas look like something else and they, you know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's pretty clever. I guess it was a natural series of events for this to become a thing. But I really wish that it wasn't. I will say that much. You can never unsee. So I apologize. Is it one of the most disturbing things on the internet? No. It's definitely above Thomas the Tank Engine because it mixes the disturbingness with a bit of like that weird sexual fetish, and it's kind of hard to determine whether it's meant to be taken seriously or not, but given most of the stuff behind Minions, it's not meant to be taken seriously. I think at least a lot of the people that I hang around use Minions, like, ironically. So I think that this is an ironic thing. And yeah, probably not one of the worst things on the internet. At least, if it's meant to be taken the way that I think it's meant to be taken. If it's actually something that somebody drew and they're like, got their dick in their hand while they're doing it, then yeah, I'm pretty disturbed by that. But I don't think that's the case. I could be wrong on that, though. Number 44, this man freaking out over McDonald's not carrying Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce. I've seen this on Twitter before. I'm pretty sure this is like a guy, he knows what he's doing, you know, he's just trying to play the stereotype of the retard Rick and Morty fan. But this is what autism will do to a person. There he goes. Life is a comic. Oh god. And the Naruto run out of the restaurant.
What?
I don't get it.
Did you guys see that guy?
Yeah, I got the whole video.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
Wow.
I don't think hilarious is the word that I would have chosen for it. Sad, probably, that this is the state of our society. You can do anything, basically, and just be like, it's ironic. You don't get it, it's ironic. Well, guess what? The irony is lost on me in this one. I went on a bit of a rant in the last episode about Rick and Morty, and probably I just don't have a high enough IQ to grasp this deeply intellectual joke that this man was making in the middle of a McDonald's, rolling on the floor, squealing like a pig. It's very, very deep, you see. You know, you can't understand it. You can't even grasp it unless you've got an IQ over 200. It's basically the joke I made in the first video. And it's applicable here. You know, Rick and Morty fans like to act like they're watching the fucking most enlightening thing on TV. But, you know, it's not Nova Science Now. It's fucking a cartoon where some guy turns into a pickle and he's like, I'm Pickle Rick! Wow, that's a great, really deep joke, isn't it? Oh, the bar has just been lowered beyond belief. And yeah, this is just autism in action. I don't hesitate to say so. If you're an autistic person and you want to defend that guy, probably don't, because you don't want him to represent you, do you? God damn. A commentary on our society, which is the most depressing thing about it. So, it's depressing, that's for sure. It's not one of the worst things I've seen, but it's definitely stupid. Stupid as fuck. 45, we've got Pregnant Clippy. I have seen this on the internet a couple times. Again, I'm pretty sure this is something that somebody made knowing that it would be disturbing, but also relatable, because we all know about Clippy, but what if you got finger fucked and pregnant and whatever? Like, it's just kind of weird. Kind of weird. Not really anything to get in a twist about. Worst thing on the internet? Definitely not. I mean, I think it was, again, made pretty ironically. Nobody's sitting there like, look at that paperclip. Oh, yeah. It's gonna have a paperclip baby. You know, I don't think a paperclip baby would get that big, really. It's just a paperclip. Does it, like, turn into a sphere? Is it a ball-shaped paperclip and then it straightens out and becomes like the little figure 8 kind of shape that it is when it starts to come out? I think not. I don't really know how the science of paperclip reproduction goes, but it doesn't seem like that's a plausible thing to me. But anyways, yeah. Obviously meant to be taken not so seriously, and so I won't. I don't know why it's on this list. I guess because they needed to get 50 things on the list, which, good job. They did it. It's not great, but they definitely did do it. 46, this fidget spinner trick. Oh god. I don't. It's related to the butt plug fidget spinner that we saw earlier. Only it's a little worse. I mean, it is kind of a cool trick, if you want me to be completely fair. fair and balanced. Fox News, or is that CNN? I don't know. I've been ripping on mainstream media all day. You can suck on my shit. But yeah, I'm not sure why somebody would decide to do this. I guess, again, we're gonna get the views. Totally. It's gonna be super awesome, and guess what? It isn't. Fail. Next. 47. This fleshlight attached to a car exhaust pipe. I saw this on Twitter too. It's absolutely fucking hilarious. I love it so much. I'm laughing already. Oh, it's so much better with the real music. I'm gonna find the real fucking video. Ah, that's the real video. Ah, it's so much worse with the stupid music put over it. I mean, I remember it farting a lot more, but those might have been superimposed in post or something like that. But it's not one of the worst things. It's one of the best things that I've seen on the internet in 2017. It made me laugh so hard when I first saw it. I called my wife in, I think, and I was like, you have to see this. This is hilarious. And it's equally as hilarious while it's on this list. So I applaud them for posting it. Unfortunately, I don't think it quite fits the list title, but I'm beyond glad to see it again. Welcome back, old friend, is what I say. Oh, God. Who would have known? Who would have known that's something that I want to see? My sides. Okay, next. Number 48. Oh my God, we're almost through it. This Donald Trump and Sonic Mpreg. Which is really just kind of disturbing in its own way. I mean, Donald Trump plus Sonic, it's a match made in heaven, if you want me to be completely honest. Sonic's face here looks like he's some kind of demon. It's really, really hard to look at it. And then you've got just the large roundness that is Donald Trump. You can only really tell because he's orange and he's got the hair like Donald Trump. And then Sonic says, "Donald, our Bobby will be beautiful." And then Donald says, "Yes, my lover, we will have most best baby in world. It is gonna be bestest looking child." Insert Lenny face. Which they couldn't even put the fucking Lenny face on it. Why? All you gotta do is type Lenny face and it'll let you copy and paste it. Oh, probably because they made it in MS Paint. XOXO, our love is pure. Yes, indeed it is. Again, I think one of those ironic things. They're like, hey, what would get a lot of clicks because people tend to like it? But then again, I think like most of those weirdly drawn Sonic pictures are ironic. So anything that I can't explain to myself, I'm just like, somebody did to be edgy. But who knows? Maybe somebody sat down and made this purposefully. Although with the purposeful misspellings and things like that, I don't really think so. But still, it's a little cringy. Not really the worst thing on the internet though. Definitely not the worst thing I've seen on the internet in 2017. It hardly beats anything that I've seen on my Twitter timeline even this morning. So, nice try, but next. 49, this pro-net neutrality message that's also furry bore. If you don't save net neutrality, I am not going to eat you in a way you would enjoy. I guess the writer of this article really doesn't like furry stuff, you know? I mean, I'm not partial to it either, but is it the worst thing on the internet? No, definitely not. Bore is probably one of the worst things on the internet. Combining the two, that gives it a few more points. But as I said, I think they're trying to keep this article relatively clean for the kiddies that might be clicking on it, so there's nothing that disturbing in this photo by itself. It's not a clickable video, doesn't link to anything, so I'm not sure what they're getting at. I haven't seen this message, so it might actually be something interesting if they actually link to a video. But unfortunately they didn't. A little too lazy and or scared of what the backlash might be. So maybe it is one of the worst things on the internet. From the thumbnail alone, I say probably not. And I'm a little scared to look up the video, so it creeps up the list, I guess. We've still got room in the top 10, right? I think so. So let's shove that in there. Why not? Good job, Furryvore net neutrality vote. Number 50, this fidget spinner. I don't know why this happened. I don't have any words to describe what I'm seeing. I can tell you that it is probably a painful thing. I'm not sure if it's like under the foreskin or inside the pee hole, but either one is probably not a pleasant sensation. The only reason somebody would do this is so they could be like, "Hey bros, look what I did, click on my picture. I need some exposure, please like and retweet," whatever. Oh, it's one of the most ridiculous things that I think I've ever seen on the internet. More ridiculous than the fidget spinner on top of somebody's pee-pee? Yeah, I think so, probably, because it's inside. The penetration's what gets me, you know? If you're gonna do something like this, let me please implore you to please don't, okay? That's a gift from all of us here. So this list started out really, really strong. It affected me in a big, big way. And then it started to feel like it got less and less. It never really picked back up. Near the end, they're like, "Here's some genitals," and you know that's a little bit shocking just for the fact that it's genitals, I guess. This is probably also in the top 10, though, of the worst things on the internet. But yeah, the worst stuff was really at the front of this list. I'm not sure whether it was actually the worst stuff, or if my brain just kind of was beaten into submission by just looking at gross things for fucking 2 hours, which can have an effect on any person. So, big thank you, BuzzFeed. This list wasn't as shit as most of the other ones that I've seen. I still hope that you guys were able to get some laughs out of it. I know I was, and I even learned a couple things along the way, such as don't scoop rice up with a menstrual cup. Don't put a fidget spinner inside your penis. Anyways, I thank you guys so much for watching this second episode. I guess third episode technically, but it's part 2 of the other episode, which, as I said at the beginning, if you haven't seen the first part of this episode, go ahead, click on the link in the description, and it'll take you over there, and there's much more fun to be had by all. I hope that you will enjoy it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe, friends, if you did enjoy this episodes of Buzzfeed Bunk. I've been Brandon Dayton, your humble narrator. We've also got links, Patreon links, Twitter links, Discord links. If you care to click on any of those, support me in any of those ways, it is always, always appreciated. I will see you in the next one. We'll dig up another shitty article. Hopefully one that's actually trying to be, like, introspective, so it's a little easier to rip apart. Most of this is like, hey, we already know this is shitty, and I'm like, yeah, I agree that it's pretty shitty. And, you know, it's kind of fun, but it's not as fun as it could be. Not as fun as the first Buzzfeed Bunk that we did, that's for sure. So, let me know what you guys thought of these episodes compared to the first one, and I'd be quite appreciative of that. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Check out some of my other content, gaming content, food challenges. We're basically trying everything on the channel just to see what sticks. And I really hope that these will stick because this series is super fun to do. Anyways, once again, thank you for watching. I've been Brandon Dayton, your humble narrator. This has been Buzzfeed Bunk. And I will see you in the next one, friends. So until then, bye-bye.
1, 2, 3, 4. Goodbye, goodbye, see you again. Goodbye, goodbye, see you, my friends.